Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Check it out. We're going to show you our process of building this barn. A big chicken coop is what it is. From the dirt work, pouring the concrete, framing it up, building our own trusses. We picked up some BCIs for the floor joists that were left over from a project, repurposing those so they don't go to waste. And we're pretty excited about this chicken house that we're building. It's going to be enough for our lay hens, and then also enough room for a small compartment, maybe about a third of the building for meat birds, and if we hatch out new ones, so we don't have to juggle them from the house to the shop and finally out to the barn. Hopefully that everything will be out there and being bear and predator proof. That's kind of the big thing. Thank you guys for joining us as we build our new chicken coop. Isn't this wonderful? It's a brisk morning. It's almost dark. A good cup of coffee, and there it is. Here's the crew we got today. We got Jordan, Emmanuel, and Morgan out here. This is what we've got done. The boys are putting the ties together to tie all the rebar together. Emmanuel is looking at the camera.
Hi.
Good job for little boys. So there you have it. We are ready for concrete. I don't know when the concrete's coming. This is going to be our barn. Big enough for chickens, to raise some fryers, some meat birds, maybe a goat or two. I'm going to have a loft upstairs for the hay. If we get goats, we'll need hay. Not sure if we're going to get goats or not, but decided I'm going to make it big enough for a change instead of making it the size I need and then wishing it was twice as big. I made it about 3 times bigger than what I needed. I'm sure we'll fill it up. It's been really strange weather here in Montana. Normally July and August we don't hardly get a drop of rain, and I've got a big roof in town. Having a hard time spraying coatings. It's been showering and raining and not drying conditions, so we pulled off of that today and we're building trusses for a new little chicken coop / barn. As you can see, most of them are built, but I laid it out and measured everything out how I wanted it on the floor. We've got some pre-cut pieces, and I'll show you the process. You guys have probably seen this before. My first one is the pattern. Lay them on top of there. They should all be the same. Boy, I wish I had these screws together. Put one staple in here to hold it. The next step is to apply these gussets. And this is some adhesive that we put on that really holds everything together. Clean the tip of this thing, it gets gunked up. Great Stuff Pro Series subfloor. It's construction adhesive is what it is. Put these all on here, line them up, and then put lots of staples in. Morgan, can you get me more staples? They're behind me.
Yeah.
So once again, we've got clouds, a few sprinkles coming down. Not good weather for spraying roof coating, so we're back out here working on our chicken coop. All right, as Barney says, give her the old hee-ho. I think we're getting ready to set the trusses up here. I gotta mark out where they sit, and then these usually go on pretty fast. Yeah, I guess you can. I'm working hard. Okay, Emmanuel and Jordan, you stay right in the middle here.
Big tidal wave coming your way. Giant gap in the middle of it.
You better be careful up there, Jordan.
Careful, Mom.
I just can't.
If you lay down, you can see it pretty good. You know, sometimes if you want to get something done, you just got to stay out until it's done. This is something that I hardly have time with the work schedule. We came out here tonight. What is it, about 8 o'clock? We finished setting these. I've got 2 screws coming up from the bottom. And now I'm going through and fastening everything. And it's pretty exciting. We have a nice little loft up here. The sun is down, we've got the last truss up, and I think it may be time to call it a day. A little bit of here and a little bit there, and we will get her done before winter.
Guys, it's midweek and look what we got here. We got Marvin home and he's going to be painting the barn. It's happening right now. Hon, can you describe what you're doing?
Well, we're running out of weather. We are running out of weather for drying paint. Technically, it's not even warm enough today, but it's looking really not good the next week or so. Rain, cold. I've got my employee spraying. Kevin is spraying foam right now, not far from here. I'm gonna run home, got a couple hours. I'm gonna get the primer on here. In case I don't get the barn painted, at least it'll be gray. So we need to put primer on here that's made to go over a variety of substrates so it sticks. Let's just hope that this dries the color that I picked out, because that is not the color. I know it'll darken up when it dries, but it's supposed to be a very dark, almost a burgundy red. Not what it's right now. Keep our fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, this barn turned out way too pink for our liking, so we ended up going back to Ace Hardware looking for a shade that is just slightly darker, hopefully to get that more burgundy color. Marvin just painted this, and the color is not exactly the way I thought it should be, but maybe if it dries, it'll turn out better.
We're here at the hardware store again, checking out colors. This one right here is what the barn is. It looks okay in here, but on the barn it doesn't. So we're trying to figure out which one we actually want. It does look different in this one.
Well, guys, the saga of our pink barn still continues. We went back to Ace Hardware to see if we could find a color that is a little bit more on the darker, more brownish color. This, the longer it has dried, the more it looks kind of more purple. But so Marvin's going to try some paint we got at the hardware store today to see if perhaps we could get it a little bit more darker rather than the kind of reddish pink.
Looks about the same color now, doesn't it?
So we tried to find something a little bit darker.
I don't know if this is going to dry today. Well, that's for sure. Glad I don't have to paint the whole barn with a brush. It'd be pretty time consuming. We're going to give this a couple hours of drying time. Unfortunately, I painted it right in line with that tree. So this is the only spot that's shaded on the front side of the barn here. Hopefully that'll dry. Give that a few hours of drying time and see what it looks like. I don't like this bright purplish tint. We're wanting something, this is the color it's supposed to be. Kind of a dark red, almost a faded off look. Looks like it about could use another coat of paint. That's kind of the look I'm after. I don't know, it looks pretty good up close though.
Yeah, it does.
We are hoping this will be the final coat of paint. Borderline again, it's about 48 to 50 degrees. We're gonna throw some paint on here and hope it sticks before it freezes. starting to make me think I'm back in the cabinet shop. I've got half a dozen windows framed up here. It's kind of a long project. Spent a lot of a good part of the day doing this and painting our pink barn. But I've got an issue right here, like I explained before. When you chamfer these out, you've got a rounded corner. You got to come up and show this. And we're going to be putting a square piece of glass in here. So I've got this piece of cardboard, and we're going to square this out on all four corners. Mark the other side. All right, and we've got this little bit right here on the router. I've got it set to the correct depth. We're going to go in here and just work this out until we've got it worked out enough that a square piece of glass will fit in there. You know what they say, dirty hands clean money. I came out here around 6 o'clock this morning. It's about 7 at night. I did have to run and look at a project today concerning work. But I changed the sprayer paint. I have paint on my hands. I went out and painted a little bit of black. I've been just working. For those of you who will notice my dirty hands instead of this, I'm going to scrub them very well tonight. Anyway, this is going to be painted black. Should we go out and put it in and just so we can see what it's going to look like? Let's do that. Let's go over and put it in there so they can kind of see a preview. It's just going to be a single pane of glass, and I might build them so they on a rope or something or a hinge that they swing in like this just for ventilation, or this way. Not sure, but it's just a barn, basic functioning. But I really like the grid look in a horse barn or a barn. It gives it the old antique look. So that's what it is. I did come out with the roller, hence the dirty black hands, and I painted that window frame, kind of faked the corner. Sometimes you look at these little colors samples at the hardware store or the paint shop, and you think, yeah, that would look good, but it doesn't. It's kind of hard when you have a little 2x3 color sample versus then you see it up on the whole building. So the goal for the paint color was to have an antique red that looked old, like it almost needed to be painted again. This is just a little bit up in your face for what I had thought. We're going to look at it. We have about 3 days of cold, rainy weather coming. There's about 2 days next week that there's a possibility it might be warm enough, and there's a possibility we may just go get a different color of paint, a different shade, and maybe we should go get a couple of small color samples, or we could just paint a splotch on it. Look at it that way. I don't know. But so far, it is coming along. It's always this part of the year. Winter's coming on. I look forward to having, when we get the place built and, when we get all our firewood in the spring, we're not putting up buildings trying to beat winter, where we can kind of work ahead, and then in the fall, just sit around and drink coffee and go hunting. double hung or whatever, it's just a single pane of glass. I'll have to open these up, figure out a way to, so I can open them for ventilation, but for right now, we just need to get them in here. Put a couple of screws in on the side. And the coop, got the walls on, got some sawdust here. I'm going to be spreading, I can't really see it, and a couple of barrels of sawdust, one from the mill, another one from the planer and the saw in the shop. We're going to be spreading that out in here, getting ready for chickens. So exciting. Finally getting a nice chicken coop to build.